And we want to go back to politics now. Presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump offering a glimpse of his general election strategy last week, saying he wants to put as many as 15 states in play. So here they are. You have your usual toss-ups. Let's take a look. Ohio, Florida, and Virginia. But others, like New York and California, haven't gone Republican since Ronald Reagan. And Trump says several Rust Belt states like Michigan would respond well to his message on the economy. Let's do it. Let's bring in our political insiders. John LeBoutelier, former Republican congressman for New York. Pat Caddell, a former pollster for President Jimmy Carter and Fox News contributor. And Doug Schoen, former pollster for President Bill Clinton and a Fox News contributor as well. Welcome to you all. Thanks for being here on this Memorial Day holiday. All right, so John, I'm going to start with you. What do you think of Trump's 15-state plan, as it's being called? You think it's too ambitious?
Well, I think the two states that he first mentioned the other day, which were California and New York, I don't think that's realistic. He may say that as a feint to try to fake out the Democrats a little bit, but it will be clear pretty quickly which states he's going to focus on, both by where he goes, and they are going to have to do TV advertising. I might add the Hillary Super PAC is already on in 4 of those states, Ohio, Nevada, Florida, and Virginia, and they're running $90 million worth of ads against Trump. So he's going to need to get engaged in those states quite quickly.
All right, Doug, you're on set with me here. Have you said that this is maybe not the best idea?
Well, I guess what I would say is I agree with John. Donald Trump is not going to win California and New York. If he does, it's a 49-state blowout. He is right to focus on Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. He has done well enough there in the primaries. Hillary's weak enough there that he can win blue-collar former Democrats and independents. That's where the election will be decided. That's where he should focus his time and resources.
All right. And Pat, you know, looking at this election and looking at the markings of changing the electoral map, the states that are in play, what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are that as all, quote, electoral locks are, they go for a period and they break. They broke in '92. The Republican lock did with Clinton's election. This election, there'll be many more states in play, many different kinds of states both ways. And where I do agree that California and New York are probably out of reach, and are really out of reach. But there's nothing wrong with making the other side do what the Democrats do, what they've never had to do for a decade or so, which is cover them, which is do anything. So, you know, we're going to have different states in play this year, and we just don't know which yet,
right.
I believe.
And Doug, one of the few public signals that Trump has given us is this, in talking about this plan and this campaign for the summer. You know, as we look at this and as we move forward into the summer months, you know, he's very competitive. He likes to be competitive. The states that he's talking about are competitive. This is where he should be? Well,
yes, and what Pat was saying, I think, deserves to be underscored. If he makes an effort in California and New York and gets some of that $90 million the Super PAC and the Hillary campaign is spending, if he gets that money diverted to those states, if he can do that, then he'll dissipate the resources Hillary has in the really competitive states. That's his strategy. Again, not sure it's going to work, but it is something the Democrats have to watch for in an election, Laura, that is now an effective statistical tie.
Right. And, John, you're in D.C. You know, what are folks they're saying this weekend? It's an important weekend. You had a lot going on today. Are people talking about this 15-state plan?
Well, I don't know about that. I think that, you know, you teased at the top of the hour his appearance today at Rolling Thunder, where I was asked to speak right before him. Now, this issue is one issue today, really, is the American POWs still held alive overseas against their will. That's what this whole rally was about. And Mr. Trump came and spoke and never mentioned the issue in his entire speech. He gave his regular campaign speech, Make America Great Again, trade deals, all that stuff, which he says very well, but he never mentioned this issue. And I think Pat and Doug would agree with me. This is a campaign problem that he needs to fix now, which is tailoring specific remarks to a specific audience for a specific event. It's just fine-tuning, add 3 sentences into his speech for this audience. I can tell you, when he left, there was disappointment today that he hadn't mentioned why these guys and gals today came from all over America. There were 300,000 people here for one issue, and he never mentioned it.
That is very interesting.